Shalom, YouTube family. How is everybody doing? I hope wherever you are in the world, you having a blessed day, the most blessed day you could possibly have. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you leave a comment down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If it's not too much to ask, we're going to keep this channel going. We're going to keep this channel growing. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video y'all came here to see. Reason number one, why you attract low quality, trashy women is because you have low self-esteem. Now, fellas, I'm going to give you a backstory on myself. When I was growing up, I had real bad problems with low self-esteem pretty much my whole life until I became an adult. I used to always find myself dealing with women that did not respect me, did not value me, did not value my time. Women would walk all over me. Women did not love me. Women didn't care about me. And I dealt with it. You want to know why I dealt with it? Because I didn't love myself. I didn't value myself. I didn't value my time. And I just used to let women just treat me how they wanted. I didn't love myself at the time. When I was growing up as a kid, no, I had very low self-esteem, down to the ground, beneath the ground. Like, it took years for me to learn to love myself and to value myself and to value my time. And I don't know you guys' situation. I don't know any of you personally, but if you struggle with low self-esteem, you would know that it's some type of backstory to your life, why you have that issue. And you know, without getting too deep into it, because like I said, I don't know any of you guys personally, but you know, if you struggle with low self-esteem, you're going to find yourself attracting women that don't respect you and don't know how to love you because you don't love yourself. So if you don't love yourself, how can somebody else love you? You know what I mean? And another thing I noticed is like about 85 to 90% of the women that I dealt with in my life, even like up till a few years ago, I've always attracted women that had some kind of traumatic childhood or some kind of abuse or neglect they went through as a kid. And I just noticed like when I was younger, man, like I used to always attract those same kind of women. It's like we were trauma bonded. Like I didn't love myself and didn't value myself. And it's like I would attract women that didn't love their selves or didn't value their selves. You know what I'm saying? Because of whatever they went through in their childhood, you know, whether they had neglectful parents or a neglectful father. And I noticed that like the older I got and the more that I started to develop love and respect for myself, and I started to value myself, and my self-esteem went from down there to like up here, I started to notice that I attracted a higher caliber of women. You know what I mean? Like I was always attracting trashy, just dirty, ghetto, loud, just, you know, just the type of women that you wouldn't even want to bring home to meet your mother. You know what I mean? Like I would always attract those kind of women pretty much over half my life. At least 85 to 90% of the women that I dealt with throughout my life were those type of women, just trashy. You know what I'm saying? And it was really my fault because by me not loving myself and by me not knowing any better, those are the type of women that I would attract into my life. You know what I mean? So that's one thing to keep in mind, fellas. You are what you attract. You know what I mean? So number one, low self-esteem is the reason why you keep attracting these low quality, trashy women. We got to do better, fellas. Whatever you need to do to raise your self-esteem, whether you need counseling, you got to go talk to somebody. I don't know what it is you guys are going to have to do because everybody deals with self-esteem issues different. Maybe you guys do need to go talk to somebody, but whatever it is, figure it out, fellas, because until you talk to someone or do whatever you need to do to resolve your issues with having a low opinion of yourself, these are the type of women that you are going to attract. And that's just what it is. With that being said, let's get into reason number 2. It's pretty much inevitable to attract trashy women when you work at a trashy temp job, you live in a trashy neighborhood, you hang out with trashy friends, and you frequent trashy clubs and trashy bars. Your entire day-to-day life, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go home and go to sleep, you are surrounded by trash. Your environment is going to keep you attracting the kind of women that you're attracting. Let me tell you guys something. When I was working those temp agency jobs, back in the day when I was like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, up until like my late 20s pretty much, I would always meet these women at jobs that I would mess around with and it was so easy. Like it really took little to no effort to mess around with these women at the jobs I was working at, man. I was working these just garbage temp agency jobs, man. And it would be so easy. It got to the point where it's like if we were working together, man, at a lot of these jobs, I would make bets with the guys like, man, let's see how many of us gonna clap the most cheeks by the end of this month. And it's like, man, it is just so ridiculous how easy it was to just smash chicks at those jobs because they were just low paying. Anybody could work those jobs, man. I remember being on the assembly line with guys who just got out the joint, did 5 years, 10 years. And don't get me wrong, because I did my time before, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like, man, the kind of people that are at this job are trash because the job is trash. Every guy here is a felon, ex-felon, still selling drugs. Every female here got about 3, 4, 5 kids with 3, 4, 5 different guys, still collecting unemployment, but you come to work every day, barely come to work every day. You still collecting unemployment. You getting a paycheck from this job. You living off food stamps. Just trash, bro. Just trashy women. You know what I mean? When you're surrounded by trash, you're going to attract trash. So you need to change your environment, fellas. If you want to attract higher quality women, you need to surround yourself with higher quality people, fellas. You need to apply yourself to higher quality, better paying jobs that's harder to get into. You need to apply yourself to jobs that this guy right here who just got out the joint 2 weeks ago could just go apply and he could start next week. You know what I'm saying? No, you got to do better, fellas. You got to do better. You can't be surrounded by trash and expect to not attract it. It's not possible. It is not possible. It is impossible to be on demon time and think that you're going to attract a woman that's an angel sent from God. It's not going to happen. It makes no sense, fellas. You have to change your environment. So until you change your environment, these are the type of women that you're going to attract. Until you stop working those trashy jobs, you're going to attract trashy women. Until you stop hanging out with trashy people, you're going to attract trashy women. Until you stop going to those trashy nightclubs, strip clubs, bars, you're going to attract trashy women. Fellas, you have to change your environment. You want to attract better women, better your circumstances, better your surroundings. And then you're going to notice the caliber of women that you attract into your life is going to be that much better. Just try it, fellas. I'm telling you, you have to change your situation, change your circumstances. You want better, you got to do better. Let's put in the work, fellas. Now let's get into number 3. You know, fellas, when I was writing this list, because, you know, I always got to have my famous notepad because I forget everything because of all the years of drinking and smoking and other nonsense that I was doing. I tend to forget a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? So I jot things down so I don't forget. And you know what's crazy is number 3 is a choice that I was actually going to put down for number 1. But number 3, the third reason why you keep attracting low quality, trashy women is your life has no purpose. You have no goals. You work dead end jobs. You have no plans going forward with your life at all. Fellas, when you have no purpose in life, you attract women that have no purpose in life. When you have no goals in life, you attract women that have no goals in life. When you have no plans moving forward with that college degree that you went to school for, that you could make a lucrative career out of utilizing if you just put in the work, you are going to attract the same kind of people. You are going to attract the same kind of women. If you don't want to put in the work and figure out what your purpose in life is, if you don't set any goals for yourself, you're going to find yourself being surrounded, not even just by women that are like that, but guys too. Your whole life, your whole social circle will be a bunch of people, including yourself, that have no purpose in life. Going back to what I said with reason number 1, with having low self-esteem, you attract what you are. If you're the type of person, you have no purpose in your life, or you don't know what your calling is in life, you need to figure it out, fellas. Stop chasing females, man, because you're only chasing trash. You know why you're chasing trash? Because the way you're living is trashy. You have to do better, man. A lot of you guys, man, be in y'all 20s, man, and even 30s, be older than me, almost 40s, bro. Still living at home with your mom, bro. Still working dead-end temp agency jobs, man. You got to do better, fellas. It's too many opportunities out here, man, that you can use as stepping stones to get where you want to be in life, man. Like, it amazes me that I know so many people that went to college for a degree in a certain field, and they got out of college and they didn't apply that degree that they went to school for to their everyday life. I don't get it. Like, I don't understand, like, why you would go to school, put yourself in debt, have to pay student loans off for at least 10, 15, 20 years. And just to go to school and pay all that money and owe all of this money to get a degree that you get out of college and you don't even use. Like, I would never understand that. So the third reason why you attract trashy, low quality women is you have no purpose in life. You have no goals. You have no plans moving forward. And until you start to set goals for yourself, until you start making plans for the future, until you figure out what your purpose in life is, because one thing I know for sure is every single human being walking this earth has a purpose for being on this earth. And until you find out what that purpose is, you are going to attract meaningless, purposeless, trashy, low quality people in your life, men and women. Now, with that being said, let's get into reason number 4. Now, reason number 4 might rub a lot of you guys the wrong way, but we are all grown men on this channel. We're not going to sugarcoat nothing. We're going to give each other constructive criticism. We're not going to talk down on each other. We're going to just pick each other up, man, because I feel like a lot of you guys fall victim to number 4. This is a good one right here. Okay. Number 4, the fourth reason why you keep attracting low quality, trashy women is because you are desperate. You prioritize sex because you are desperate. You put women on a pedestal because you are desperate. That is the sole reason why, one of the sole reasons why you keep attracting these trashy women, is because you are desperate. You are so desperate for sex that you will sit and put up with a female that you know lives on means that are so far beneath you, but you would deal with it just because you know you can get something out of it. What are you going to get out of it? Sex. You deal with and put up with these women and they BS and they shenanigans and this chick that be messing around with her baby daddy and you know all about it. You just deal with it because you know that at the end of the day, you're going to get what you want from her, man, which is sex. You prioritize sex over your own self-respect as a man. You prioritize sex over your own self-respect. You will let this woman walk all over you for the simple fact of you sleeping with her. You would literally bring home, I'm sorry, let me rewind a little bit. You would literally meet a woman that'll sleep with you on the first date, and you so desperate for sex, you would push this woman that slept with you on the first date, like somewhere in your brain, you think that you're the only guy she ever slept with on the first date, but you so thirsty and so desperate and put sex on a pedestal, you would sit there and push her for a relationship, man, just because she gave you some sex, bro. You would sit there and wife a female like that, bro. Instead of smashing and tossing her to the side of the road, you would smash her, and just because you know, oh, man, I know now that I could get something out of her, man. I could get that thing that I put on that pedestal. I know I could get that out of her, so you know, I don't care that she walk all over me, man. As long as I get me some booty, man. I don't care that she don't care about me. As long as I get me some booty, you know what I'm saying? I don't care that I know she's still messing with her baby daddy. I know she got 3 other kids, and you know what I'm saying? I know she ain't never got no money, man. I know she living on Section 8, man. I know she can't keep a job longer than 2 weeks, but man, she gonna give me some sex, man. So I'm gonna just deal with it, man. You know how crazy that sounds? All because, man, I feel like a lot of you guys, and I'm not even just picking on nobody watching this video, but I feel like a lot of us guys, I should say, a lot of us, especially when we young, like when we in our mid to late teens and even like into our 20s, a lot of us find ourselves in these toxic relationships with people, man, and we deal with people that we know we have no business dealing with, because when you're a young man, in most cases, you tend to put sex on a pedestal. So it's like a woman will do XYZ and you just put up with it because you don't want to do anything that's going to mess up your chances of getting what you want from a woman, which is sex. So you prioritize sex to the point where you put a woman on a pedestal because you are just that desperate for sex. So reason number 4, why you keep attracting low quality trashy women is because you're desperate. You would take anything home to your mama. You would take anything out on a date. You would lay down and have unprotected sex with anybody. You have to have standards, fellas. If a woman don't respect herself, you think she gonna respect you? And then women are smart, man. Women pick up on things. Women do little stuff like they'll test you, man. Like they'll test you with, it's a lot of examples I can give, but I'm not gonna get into that right now. But women would test you, and when they see that they can get away with doing certain stuff and you don't even have enough respect for yourself to put your foot down with certain things, because you think, oh, if I say this, man, it's going to come up like I'm insecure. Oh, if I say this, man, it's going to come up like I'm jealous. Oh, if I say this, man, it's going to come up like I'm being controlling. No, man, you need to say these things in the beginning. You need to check that stuff that she do, check that in the beginning. Because if you let her get away with this stuff in the beginning, and then you try to say stuff down the line months later or a year later or years later, then it's going to come off like you being insecure. Then it's going to come off like you being jealous because you didn't check it in the gate. And when you check women, bro, I'm not saying check in their face and do all that, but I'm saying, hey, let it be known certain stuff you ain't going to let slide. Because I guarantee you, if you do something that she don't like and she ain't going to let slide, she going to let you know. But see, you will deal with it because you desperate. Stop doing that, fellas. When a female do something that you don't like or you don't agree with and you feel like she's disrespecting you, man, put your foot down. Don't be so thirsty and desperate to the point where you would just let a woman just walk all over you, bro. Because I'm telling you, once she starts doing that and she knows that you don't respect yourself enough to put her in check and let her know you ain't going to deal with that, she's going to keep doing it. I'm telling you. I've been there and done that with too many women, bro. Put that BS in check. Soon as you go through something that soon as she start playing them little games and talking to you crazy, bro, speak up for yourself. Put that in check. Because if you don't, I'm telling you, you are going to regret it, bro. Don't be that thirsty for some sex, man, to the point where you let a woman disrespect you. Trust me. There's too many women out here that will respect you, that'll give you some sex. So why are you dealing with women that don't respect you at all just for some sex? Come on, fellas. You can do better. All right? So let's get into reason number 5 why you keep attracting low quality, trashy women. All right. Now, I'm not going to lie, fellas. I purposely saved number 5 for last. What I'm about to say for last. Obviously, I say number 5 for last. But I purposely say this one for last. The 5th reason why you keep attracting low quality, trashy women is you had a poor relationship with your mother, you had a poor relationship with your father, or you had a poor relationship with both your parents. It's either one or the other or both. And like I said earlier on in the video, when I had low self-esteem when I was younger, I used to always attract women. Not always, but a lot of the time, 9 times out of 10. You know, I had those few special situations back then. But 9 times out of 10, I was attracting women that had poor relationships with their parents and their fathers in particular. And it's so crazy to me because when I look back on my life and on the women that I've dealt with in my life, all of the women who I had like normal relationships with, the relationships really wasn't dysfunctional and we didn't break up because we was constantly cheating on each other or nothing like that. And we didn't break up because it was violence going on. We probably just broke up because we just grew apart or we just wanted different things in life at that time. I noticed that those were always the women who had the best relationships with their mother and their father. But the women in my life who it was always one of us or both of us cheating on each other, we was always fighting, we was always arguing, it was always some drama, it was always some BS. I noticed that them are the women that always had the bad relationships with one of their parents or both of their parents when they was growing up. So I do feel like women that have bad relationships, you know, with their parents growing up, I do feel like it carries on into their youth, into their teenage years, into their adult years. And I just feel like it just keeps going and going and going. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of women, man, they miss something from their fathers when they growing up, man. And I swear, like every woman that I've dealt with in my life that I had problems with, that was just, you know, whether they were just overly conceited, they were self-centered, they always had attitudes, they always wanted to fight, they had masculine energy. They were just always just difficult to please and difficult to deal with. I noticed that those women were always the ones that had a problem with their parents growing up. Whatever that problem is, I don't know, but I swear to you, all the women that never had issues with their mother or father growing up, they were like always the normal girlfriends that I had all my life. But the ones that had the opposite, they had a poor relationship with their mother or a poor relationship with their father or a poor relationship with both. Those were always the women that gave me the most headaches when we was dealing with each other. So the fifth reason why you keep attracting trashy, low quality women is you probably had a poor relationship with your mother or father or both of them when you was growing up that you probably never got over. And I know what you guys thinking. You probably thinking, did I have problems with my mother and my father when I was growing up? Honestly, I didn't have any problems with my mother. No, my mother did everything she could for me and my sisters. My mother, it was one point in time, my mother worked 3 jobs, man. My mama didn't even used to be home on a lot of holidays when we was growing up, bro. I would never get on the internet or tell nobody personally out of my mouth, especially anybody that knows me and know any better. I would never say that I had a poor relationship with my mother when I was growing up, because that's not true. That would be a lie. I would never say that. I had a great relationship with my mother when I was growing up. My mother did everything that she could possibly do to make sure me and my sisters had the best upbringing she could possibly give us. You know? Now, my father, on the other hand, I didn't have the best relationship with my father. And it's just one of those things. And I do feel like by me having such a poor relationship with my dad when I was growing up, even up until my adult years, my father's dead now. And me and him really didn't get close until shortly before he died, maybe like a couple years before he passed. You know, God rest his soul. I love him. I'm happy I had a chance to meet my father and, you know, get to know him and spend time with him. I'm happy he had a chance to meet my daughter, which is his granddaughter, obviously, his only grandchild. I'm happy we all had a chance to, you know, be around each other and enjoy those times and enjoy those years, you know, that we had before he passed on. But, you know, growing up, me and my dad didn't have the best of relationships. You know what I mean? And I feel like that played a big part in me dealing with women who didn't respect me and value me or love me throughout my life. Because that love that I didn't get from my dad when I was growing up, I do feel like unconsciously I used to try to find that love in other women. Which is why I used to put up with BS and put up with getting cheated on and let women walk all over me. And to the point where I don't even think it was because I was letting women do it because I was desperate for sex. I think I was doing it because I was just desperate to have somebody in my life to try to find that love that I never had from my father when I was growing up. So yes, fellas, I feel like when you have a poor upbringing, poor relationship with your mother and or your father, I do feel like it plays a part in the type of women that you attract in your life. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That's just my personal opinion. You might feel differently about that, but we can agree to disagree. But either way, I hope that you all learned something from this video. Just a quick rundown. Number one reason why you attract low quality, trashy women is you have low self-esteem. Reason number two, your environment. You work trashy jobs. You live in a trashy neighborhood. You have trashy friends and you hang out in trashy clubs and go to trashy bars. Therefore, you're surrounded by trashy women. Number three is your life has no purpose. You have no goals. You have no plans moving forward with your life. And until you have plans and until you have goals or make goals and until you find your purpose in life, you're going to attract the same type of people. Friends, men and women, people that have no purpose and no goals in life. Until you figure out what you want to have going on, you're going to attract people that have nothing going on because you have nothing going on. Number four, you prioritize sex and you put women on a pedestal and you're pretty much just desperate. So you put up with trashy women because, hey, I know I can get some booty from her. I know she's trashy, but hey, I'm just that desperate. I'll deal with her. I'll let her walk all over me and talk to me crazy and disrespect me. And I'll just put up with it just because I'm that desperate for sex. I'll just deal with it. Come on, fellas, we got to do better. And number 5, poor relationship with your mother or father or both of them. And that could be on both of you, from the man and the woman. You know what I'm saying? But yes, those are the 5 reasons why you keep attracting trashy, low quality women. And fellas, if you want to do better, you have to raise your self-esteem. You might have to go talk to somebody. There's nothing wrong with seeking counseling, man. Anything that's going to help you live a better life and help you to love yourself, do it. There's nothing wrong with that, bro, at all. Number 2, your environment. You got to change your environment. Get a better job. Move to a better neighborhood. Hang out with better friends. Hang out with people that are higher quality than what you're used to hanging around. And remember, you are what you attract. Number 3, your life has no purpose. Find your purpose, fellas. Stop prioritizing sex. Stop putting women on a pedestal, because just like you deal with that woman that disrespects you and treats you like trash and acts like you're her baby daddy and you're not even her baby daddy, you taking care of a kid that ain't even yours, bro. You could be dealing with a woman that respects you, love your dirty draws, love your kids, and come on, man. You could be dealing with a woman that won't even play with you like that, bro. And then the poor relationship with your mother or father, hey, man, it's the past, man. You know, if you had a poor upbringing relationship with your mother or father, man, hopefully they still around. If not, I'm sorry. That's just something you just going to have to deal with. But if you do have that mother or father that's still alive and still around in your life, try to reach out to your parents, man, and mend those relationships, man. Whatever you got to do, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's just do better, fellas. We going to keep going together, and we're going to keep growing together. I hope you all learned something from this video. I hope you all, found some useful information in this video. Please like the video, drop a comment below, and subscribe to the channel. Come on, it's a brotherhood. We all in this together. We're going to keep growing every day. We're going to keep growing together. It's one. I love you guys. Until the next video, shalom, family.